Hello and welcome back to all of you, my beautiful subscribers, likers, sharers, and commenters. I pray you are having a happy new year. I know I am because I am in the land of the living, so I have to give God all the glory, the honor, and the praise. So, anyways, good morning to you too. I just came outside to do a nice little video for you all, and I realized that there was a lot of mist in the air. So I didn't want the mist in the air to spoil my hair. So I went and get this piece. I already said good morning. What's wrong with you? Please stop interrupting. Yes. So I didn't want the mist in the air to spoil my hair because I think my hair was looking very nice this morning, guys. I started my lot journey in September of this year. So it's October, November, December, like 3 months. And it's growing real nice. Today's video is not about a hairstyle, guys. So, I know that a lot of you guys is planning to start a garden, and some of you might already have a garden. I have a backyard garden, a container garden, and appearance to me is very important. I use bright colors in my garden to captivate my own attention. So whenever I come out and I am looking at different type of colors and how the garden is laid out, it just does something to me. So I want you guys to have the same experience when you are out in your garden looking at the layout and all the bright colors that you have in your garden. So I am going to just share a few ideas on how you can set up and lay out your garden for it to have an appealing look then. I know that a lot of people has been using the word aesthetic or aesthetic, and when I was growing up I've never heard those words before. So I do not try to use them on a regular basis because I don't want to embarrass myself. But anyways, I am going to be showing you a few ways on how you can arrange your containers to make them appealing to the eyes of anybody who is in your garden, or just appealing to the eyes. Okay, so guys, the first thing that I will be moving is this beautiful bouquet of flowers that is sitting on 2 blue buckets. These buckets, they actually have some water in them, and I was actually looking at the new area of my garden, which is right here, and it looks a little bit dull. I need some more colors in there. I know I do have this pink pot right here and one over here, but I need a little more pop of color in this section. So I'm going to be removing these 2 white buckets and I'm going to be putting the blue buckets there. So currently I have 2 small pots propagating some of this flower right here, and I have this flower right here that I'm going to be moving. I'm not even sure where I'm going to be putting them right now, but all I know is that I need this baby right here to be sitting in this corner right here. Okay guys, so let the show begin. All right, so if you are going to be using 55-gallon barrels, here is one way how you can actually lay them out. As you can see, I have 6 barrels in the back section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in between these two, there was a gap in the back section right there, so I tuck this smaller container in between these two right there. Now this is a stackable planter, and on top of these two half a barrels, I was able to put, as a matter of fact, in between, I placed this piece of stick, and then I put my stackable planters on the stick, and this is actually to stabilize the planter so it doesn't fall over. Inside of this half a 55-gallon barrel, there is not a lot of soil in there, so I am using this 5-gallon bucket with my cauliflower in there. So it's like elevation style. So I have taller plant here and the lower plants in here, and I also have more space where I can actually grow other stuff in there. So if you have a container like this, a half a 55-gallon barrel, and you do not have a lot of soil, you can just put a minimal amount of soil in the bottom, and then you use another container for elevation. I see something coming up right here. I don't know what it is, but when it comes up, I'll know. All right, so I have two 5-gallon buckets the same way. Now, this right here is a stackable planter, and I made this with some coffee creamer bottles and a tripod stand. So what I did, I placed these two legs in these two barrels right here, and the other leg is behind here, and I used some rocks back there to stabilize it, and then I used the empty section to store these bottle tops that I have been using for my mini greenhouses. And this is another stackable planter right here. That's another small pot right there. Now, as you just saw, I just placed these two 5-gallon buckets right here. Now, these can also be used as stands, and I can also use them as seating areas whenever I am in this area, because I recently put a chair in here, guys, and the chair was taking up a lot of the space, so I had to move it. Now, I just moved this white bucket right here, and it is now in the center of this half a 55-gallon barrel. So it's like I'm replicating the same style over there, but if you notice, they're totally different containers. The shape, so this one is actually round, and that is like a square or rectangular, whatever you want to call it. But you can actually do this, so you will plant like some bigger plants in the barrel, and then you'll put something like a kale or other stuff, carrots or pepper, whatever you want to plant in that one right there. In between these barrels, I have a little space, and I squeezed two more buckets down in here because I am trying to maximize on space, guys, and wherever I can squeeze or tuck another container, I'm going to just tuck it in there to maximize on space so I can grow more things. Right here I have my Scotch bonnet pepper, and this is a pot with my coleus. So I do not have anything to plant in front of the Scotch bonnet pepper right now, so I'm using up this space by putting this coleus plant right here, and I did the same thing over here. Okay, now remember, guys, this video is all about arranging your containers, setting them up so you can maximize on space in your garden. And I forgot to show you guys that I had a little space right here, and I put this pot right here with the flowers in it. So now this is my DIY table, working table, that is made out of some pallets and some tiles that I have laying around the yard, and I have two buckets on top of them. If I had more buckets, I could actually put one beside here. Let me show you. I need to demonstrate. So I could actually put them like this. So I would have one there, one there, one there, and one there. But for right now, I only have two, and this is how I am using them. Alright, so after I place these buckets right here, I had a little space in between the buckets, so I put this pot right here with my aloe vera plant. Alright, and then I had this pot right here as well in front of it. So I am trying to utilize every single bit of space, as I said. In this container right here, the covers, I put the knife and my shovel and the stuff that I use outside. So whenever I come out and I need something to use in the garden, they're easily accessible. So right here, I have some flowers, and what I did with this basket, I add a flower pot in it because this pot can be very challenging to move at times. So whenever I want to move it now, I'll just pull this container right here or hold it by the handle and lift it up. All right, so this is the flower that you all saw me moving. You see how beautiful it is? So it's in the back area, and the smaller ones is to the front. All right, and if I have some smaller pots, I could actually put one right here and probably one back there. Under here, there's nothing much happening underneath here. I do have my rosemary and a piece of mint and some other stuff that I'm propagating. And if you can look, I put the taller pots to the back and the shorter ones in the front. So if I happen to put any plants in here that I'm going to propagate and they become taller than the ones in the back, I am going to be moving the taller plants to the back and put the shorter ones in the front. So recently I was creating my raised bed, my mini raised bed, and I put the tomatoes in there. I saw that the tomatoes, they were wilting, guys, so I had to take them out and put them back in some water. Okay, so now on this table I have some pots with my rosemary, and because I wanted the back pots to be on a higher level, I used some blocks to elevate them. So now I have the back ones a little bit higher than the ones in the front, and these are some flowers that I just moved. So in between, I tuck this pot right here, and I have another pot in here, another one with some tomatoes. See, I try to utilize every bit of space, guys, and this is another plant that I just moved, and I had this space right here. So I have this pot right here. See, utilizing every bit of space. Now underneath here, I do have a lot more space, but because I wanted my tomatoes to get some sunlight, I pulled them to the front. But if it was a case where I had seeds, where I have seeds in them, waiting on them to be germinated, I would actually push them all the way to the back, and then I would have more space, so I could actually put more pots there, just like this. You see that? I could have all of these pots like that, but for right now, I want them to remain this way until I get some more pots and other stuff to put underneath there. All right, so this container right here, you could either set them this way, you could set them this way. And as I said, I normally love to put the shorter pots in front. So if I was going to use it this way, I would have the containers like this. See? And then for this one, you could put the containers in there like this. I'll get the picture. Okay. Now I have these pots right here, and they were actually on this table right here to the side. So I have them like this. I had them like this, and I had 2 on this side and 2 on that side. But another way how you can set them would be like this. So if I use them this way, I still have more space in the middle here that I could put another pot, and I could possibly move this smaller pot to another area and have a bigger pot in between here. All right guys, so the containers are back here now, and the reason why I moved them from the front section right there is because I want to have more space, so when I'm doing my recordings I can move around easily without anything impeding me. So now these are some crates. I actually salvaged these one day, so you can have them like this to put these small pots in, so they can be easily moved. But for now, I am using them upside down as a stand for these pots, and you can put anything at all on these. All right, so let's get over into the herb and vegetable garden. So if you're going to be using bottles like these, guys, you can use some zip ties after you cut them, and you can tie them to your trellises or tie them to posts like what I did on this bedpost right here. And for the baskets, if you like your baskets elevated, all you have to do is to use some blocks. So I have 1, 2, 3 blocks down in there for the back ones, and then I have 2 here, and then I have 1 there. So you see, it's like a step up effect. All right, now I have these long containers, and I put them in 3 baskets. So the back baskets, they have soil in it, and I planted in them just like that. But for the middle ones, if you notice, I have other containers in the baskets, so they are easy to move. That is one of the reasons why I love my container gardening, because they are mobile and they can be moved and put anywhere you want to put them. All right, now for these yellow beans right here, I actually have the back bin on a basket. I should go around and show you. And then I have this one right in front of it. Originally, I had one of the bins right here, and another one was right here. But as you all can see, I love the step-up effect. And if I have more baskets, I would put this one on a higher level, put this one up, and then put another one in front of it. So this is what the basket looks like. So it is the same basket that I have one of my flower pot in. And these are some more baskets that I have, one here, and I always leave a little keyhole so I can walk if I want to stand right here and do anything over there. And here are some pots. I could actually put the pots right here if I want to, and I could put another one right here. So I would only have this space to walk. But for right now, because these baskets are not being used, I am keeping these pots in there. Okay. All right, so after setting up my 5-gallon buckets, I noticed that I have a gap in between the buckets. So what I did, I added some of my blocks, and then I put little pots in between these areas to fill it out. Y'all see that? Now over here, I arranged my 55-gallon barrels on the outer section, and then I have some 5-gallon buckets in the lower part, and then lower than the 5-gallon buckets, I have these black pots right here. All right, guys, so another thing that you can do with your 5-gallon buckets is to stack them on top of each other. So if you have 3 like this, you can put 2 two beside each other, and then you put another one on top of it. These are not the same height. And if you have, say for example, 5, you could put 3 here, and then you could put 1 here and 1 here. I hope you all get the picture. And as for the mini raised bed, if you have some blocks, you could actually elevate it if you want it higher, so you don't have to bend over too much, because I think this was just for demonstration. I'm not sure if I'm going to let it stay here. I might put it somewhere else in the garden. And so another thing you can do, guys, is to use smaller pots and put it around the base of bigger pots that you have. You can actually put it all the way around in a circle, semicircle. But in this case, I only have 2 plants, so I'm just going to put these 2 at the base of this plant right here. And if you have cinder blocks, you can arrange the cinder blocks like this. Look at that. Look at all those creepy qualities on in there. So you can arrange the cinder blocks in a line. You can plant in the cinder blocks, because I'm really going to plant in them, but for right now, I'm putting these plants down in there. All right? If you have more cinder blocks, you could actually create a L shape. You could have 4 here, 4 over here. You can stack them on top of each other. There are so many ways how you could actually stack the cinder blocks to use them to arrange your garden to have a very appealing look. And if you have toys, if you have kids that have toys that you're not using anymore, you can use the toys. My grandson's old slide, I am using it as a stand for this container that I'm going to be planting in sometime in the future. So guys, I almost forget to show you my flower bed. So my flower bed is actually made out of an actual bed head and a bed post. This has been moving around so many times in the garden. I think this is going to be its final destination because I really don't have the strength to be moving around things so often again. All right, so if you have a whole bed head and bed foot, you can place it somewhere in your backyard or wherever you have the space to make a garden bed. And this is going to be my flower bed. I forgot to show you guys this. Which way should I walk? There are some lizards over there. So this is actually a stool, if I can get it out. I have a stool with a piece of old closet shelf on it that I was using, and I had a pot down in this area with some mint, so when the mint grows it could actually trellis on top of the old rock right there. Here, let me see if I can get it out, but there are some lizards on it. Ew! Oh! Stacy girl, if you're watching, you would not venture into this area. There's so much lizards in there, and I'm actually planning on making it bushier. Crazy me. I think this might not be able to come out, you know guys, because the mint has actually gone through the thing here. I might just have to plant some more mint and put the pot down in here. So this is another way how you can actually arrange your containers. If you have a fence like this, you can put some pots there, 5-gallon buckets, 3-gallon pots, 2-gallon pots. You can put them in a straight line, and depending on the shape of the area that you're using, you can actually put them in a rectangular shape. triangular shape, circular shape, whatever shape is your preference. You can go ahead and arrange your containers so your area can have a very appealing look. And here are some more barrels that I have, and I just strategically arrange these barrels in this area right here to create another garden. And I have some blocks right here, and I formed a semicircle or an arch, and I have used this piece of lattice to back it around. I had some beans growing in there. I took them out. I now only have my my papayas growing in there, and I think I'm going to be taking them out. All right, so this area is a little bit messy, but if sometime in the future you're planning on making a DIY work table with pallets and extra tiles that you have, this is something that you can actually do. If you have them side by side, you can actually use another tile to put it in the middle section, and you can have a container like this, another flower pot or something in the middle. As a matter of fact, I believe I'm going to put the little mini raised bed somewhere back here because I think I'm going to move this. All right, and if you have more coffee creamer bottles, you can get these containers at your local stores, and you can have your containers in them to be easily accessible to move around. Okay, I like things in order, so this one can be placed this way, or I can set it this way. It's the only one that I have left now, so I'm going to let it stay that way. And these are some extra pots that I have. I could just put them to the side, so if I come back here to work, I would have this entire section to work without anything in my way. All right, so this is a stand that I'm not using, so I tuck it in between this area right here, and I have that pot right there, and this pot that is lying around not doing anything at all, I can just drop it in there and put them away. So you have a neat and tidy area to work with. Now these are my old zinnias. I left them here to dry, and I have to put a piece of rock on it to hold them down. Oh my gosh, this video is getting so long. Back here, guys, I used some rocks, and I stuck the rocks around this tree right here, around the front section as a matter of fact. And then I found these, I salvaged these, so I put it to the back section, and I used some rocks to hold it in place. And then I use these old fencing thing that I was using years ago to back it around, and at one point I was planting some other stuff down in there, but this area is actually a propagation area, so whenever I get plants, I would just stick them down in here, and as soon as they get their roots, I'll take them out and plant them out in the garden. As you all saw, I took a lot of my aloe vera plants from this area, and I have leaf of life. I don't know the name of this plant, so if anyone knows, please comment and let me know. So I have this, I have some mint and some other plants down in there, and I have a rosemary. I have croton back there that I should be taking out. I think I have 2 pieces of croton, but I'm only seeing one. Where's the other one? Oh, I don't know where it is. Yeah, and I have these beautiful flowers. I think this plant has grown all the way down in the ground, guys. Yeah, but I should be taking it out soon. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for today's video. I really hope and pray that you found something of interest and you can actually utilize 1 or 2 of the ideas that I just showed you, how you can lay out or set up your containers in your garden to maximize on space. I am hoping for my garden to thrive. I will be growing more and more and more and more. So if you have any ideas, suggestions, or recommendations in regards to how I can lay out other containers, as usual, go ahead and comment down below, and also let me know what you think about the setup of my garden right now. Okay, so if this is your first time joining me, this is the Glazed Garden Girl over here in Zone Florida. Happy New Year again, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye bye.